Are you struggling to write your first manuscript? Are you searching for an idea or concept that will excite both you and the reader? Well, if that's you, you're in luck, because today we look at the creative journey of an author as we speak to an author and a mentor and motivational speaker who has written the book Even Boys Cry. So let's get started. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Purity.
And thank you for making time for us today.
Thank you.
So first things first, let's get to hear your story. Who is Paul Wandere? Yes.
Paul Kariuki Wandere is a young man clocking 40 years this year. Actually, I'm clocking 40 years this month. I've had a journey, quite a long journey as a man, born and bred in a place called Kabete. Kabete is in Kiambu County. Schooled in local schools there. Went to Egerton University for my, higher education. Did Bachelor of Commerce. Veered a bit to do postgraduate diploma in education because I felt I had a passion for teaching. Did a master's in an MBA in strategic management, and currently finalizing a master's in counseling. So I, as a profession, I would call myself a teacher, a counselor, and a mentor. Yeah.
So you've mentioned that you did BCom.
Exactly.
And BCom and writing. I don't know if people are wondering at home, where is the link between the two?
Exactly. You see, one of the greatest challenge I think in the university, especially after Form 4, is balancing between finding your career path and finding your passion. Unfortunately for so many people, and I think this is a very great mistake students make, they follow careers because of probably passion, money. We usually say the 5 P's of careers. I think they follow them, forgetting that the most important thing is your passion. Because careers will never pay what passions can pay. And so what I did for the first 4 years in BCom, I was following my career path. Because I used to say, after my bachelor's, I would do an MA in finance. In fact, even I had started CPAs. I would even tell you, me being the person who did it, I even don't know where I stopped at. Because I felt I was not passionate with that. One of the greatest thing, I think I discovered my passion after my undergraduate, and that's why you realized instead of doing an MBA in finance, I did a postgraduate diploma in teaching, that is in education, and then an MBA in strategic management, and now in counseling. You realize how I have veered so much of discovering my passion.
For you, when did you actually just decide, like, I think this is not where I should be, and how easy was it, that transition,
I think people who suffer a lot in veering off are people we call introverts. But when you're an extrovert and you speak to people, you realize that people will notice you very fast. You see, me being a public speaker, you'd go to places and you realize as you speak to people, you may not even get paid very well, but you realize you're connecting with people very fast. If you're an introvert, it becomes very hard for even people to understand you because you keep a lot to yourself. But it is always very important that even people who are in their careers, whether in undergraduates or in even working, it's good you interact with people. You interact with the environment, because as you interact with the environment, you also understand who you are. Number 2, it's also good to listen to your inner voice. As much as you're sitting, like for example, me, one of my first job I got immediately I finished my undergraduate was an accounting job as a bursar in a school. And I would realize every time parents would come to visit the office to pay, I was very excited to parents who came and talked stories. It's as if, this work, I would tell them, stop fast paying, let's talk, you see. I realized I'm not so much into this book work. I would rather be engaging with people. So it is very easy to veer off, especially when you also don't become settled in your career, because there are 2 types of lives, life with books and life with nature. Yeah.
So you need to find what is your space, and then you will flourish in that space. In fact, you flourish
in that. Otherwise, utakuta, for example, assume I was doing accounting today. I even doubt whether I would be a senior accountant in an organization. Why? Some of the habits or traits that a senior accountant would require to have, I may find myself not having them. Number 1, integrity. Number 2, thoroughness. Why? Because it's not something you love doing, so you may not be thorough in them. maybe the reports are needed tomorrow morning. You are not passionate in doing this one. How would you even give those reports?
Yes.
You'd find yourself delegating and not taking accountability. Actually, a person, we usually say, by 30, everybody should have discovered their passion. You are given a room to make mistake between 24 to 29. But as you clock 30, you should not be cribbing the radar of your passion. Otherwise, you will find so many people, they are cribbing a radar that is leaning against the wrong wall. That's what I did. I first of all asked myself, it's true I'm cribbing, but against what wall? The right wall or the wrong wall?
Okay.
And I can tell you I'm so excited.
I can even see the excitement on your face. And I think you also need to just evaluate yourself. If you're watching this and you're at home, you need to know which area are you falling in. Are you in between the 24 and 30 age where you're supposed to be figuring out and try this, or are you at a point where you should know where exactly is my space or what is my field?
Probably to cut you short, in my book I call them the 5 P's. If every person, let me go them through very fast. Number 1 P is the passion. What are you passionate about? Forget whether you are educated or not. What do you love doing? Number 2 P. Make sure that any career path you follow, one day it will pay you back. Because then if it doesn't pay you back, remember one day you'll be a mother, you'll be a father. It must pay you. Number 3, personality. Something like medicine requires very quiet people. You cannot have a doctor who is making a lot of noise because, even they don't have time even to listen to people. Number 4 is the prevailing market. That career that you are doing, what is the market? How is the market trend, Because by the end of the day, like for example, right now, there are some courses that are becoming irrelevant right now.
Yes.
So you ask yourself, whatever, like you said, right now, me being a counselor, you realize like, it is things that people right now need a lot of help because there is a lot of mental health issues. So I also pursue a career that I think this is where people are going. So I've talked of personality, passion.
Yes. The prevailing market.
Number 4, pay. I think I'll remember the last one as we go.
Yes. But very interesting insights. And this is why you need to get the book, Even Boys Cry. These are just some of the interesting insights that are there and that will help you even in terms of your career growth as a young person. So let's now just backtrack a bit and talk about your journey as an author. Because I think it all starts from somewhere. It all starts from scribbling down a thought that just crossed your mind or an idea that you might have. So for you, when did it dawn on you that this is the book that you want to write about, Even Boys Cry?
Exactly. No, there's no author who can write a moving book if you don't have a burden. Because what you'll do, you'll find yourself googling content from the internet to write. But when you write from a burden, content starts flowing from you. So me, I used to go to church. I'm raised in a church. And one of the things that struck me in church, every church I went to visit, women were more than men. And I think that is the same today. And so I realized, why do this all, your dad is telling you go to Sunday school. But when you go to church, you realize the boys are many, the girls are equivalent with the boys. But when they transit to around 20, 30, 40, it's as if there's somewhere that men don't come to church or something like that. And then you realize men are getting frustrated in life, something like that. So I said, what about issues of boys? And then when I was raised, I remember every time my sister used to cry, our parents could sympathize with her. But every time I cried, they say, wanaume hawaliangi. Then I felt, I think I have bottled up a lot of pain. And as I see a lot of boys being brought up, that is what is happening. I went to secondary school and found a different issue again. I would see in a mixed school, every time a girl would insult a boy, the teachers would call the two. And the person they would ask the question, amekufanya nini? They would ask the girl, what has he done? So the boys always became victim. And I felt, I think something need to be addressed. God created a burden in me. And you see, once God creates a burden in you, he opens your eyes. And then you start seeing things in a dimension that other people cannot see. And that's how the book was born. So
we go for a short break right now on Elimu Ni Nguvu, but the conversation continues. There is so much we need to talk about with Mr. Paul, and also about the book Even Boys Cry, addressing very, very serious issues that we need to talk about as a society. This is Elimu Ni Nguvu. We'll be right back.